Hello and welcome back to the Ultimate Marble Racing International. I feel like you're going to say that at the start of every single stream. The intro music's too low. Yep, still not changed it. Again, it won't be for the people watching on YouTube. I would have it edited up there, but it is for those watching on stream at the moment. So, we are here with race number 7, and the track is Kenya. Or the full name is Marble GP Kenya. Just a reminder, these are all Marble GP tracks. The names have just been reduced down. I'm sure you will. I'm looking forward to seeing it at the start of every stream. So we currently have Shady leading after the last race, Mubi knocked down to second, and Bwer in third, but it is all still very close as we are getting ever so close to the halfway point. And just a reminder what people are competing for. You can see the points and the prizes there on the side. It's a £50 prize pool for this one, smaller than our main seasons. £25 for the winner, 15 for second and 10 for third, and there is the points as well, the distribution, including the extra point for a fastest lap. But let's get over to the track. So here we are, and this is a bit of an elimination track. Don't think it's going to be as deadly as the other elimination one we had. Don't think anything's going to quite top that one, but it will help you with your predictions, maybe, although it might actually make the predictions a little bit harder now it's an elimination one. It might make it harder for you to predict. But before we take a look around, let's get everyone spawned in. How many laps? It will be 8 laps. Jimmy, Cheese, B and Dessert on the front row, Snorker, Bwer, Fluids and Iceman on the back row. And let's do the predictions. Start a prediction, 2 minutes to get those predictions in. And let's have a quick look around the track. So long straight. Also, just want to check, is the background music louder than usual? Just looking at my audio levels. It looks like it might be louder than normal. Down the main straight we go into a hairpin first corner. It then sweeps around and we go into a zigzag section. Opening back up and then into another zigzag. And into an old school ladder, which Bwer will be shaking in their boots for. Up to a hairpin, a little S-bend, opening up to some more obstacles here to navigate through. And then we have a filter system here, which should take the last marble. So if you're the last one making it into this section, you will be removed. So that might help with the predictions. No one has jumped the gun too quickly. And I'm just going to check the volume here. Try that. Hopefully you're all good on it. Just sounded a little bit louder than normal. Should have waited with your prediction again. Maybe you should have. Well, we are about to see. So predictions are just coming to an end, so let's get the countdown started. And they are off down the straight. Into the first corner. It's going to be Jimmy up the inside, Demon, Iceman all filtering in on the inside lane there. Good start for those. Moo's going to come in, push Iceman to the side. Demon's got a good line there. We'll go in front of Iceman. We'll just tuck in. And we're looking for a route past. I see what you mean by the balls of steel looking rusty. Out in the desert, the sands must have been getting to the skin of the marble, getting to the metal, causing a bit of rust. See the sands blowing in the background. Going onto the ladder, looks like Fluids is having difficulty, so is Weep. Fluids having some real issues. And finally making it on. And Moo dropping quite a bit from the start. But Iceman will be leading Jimmy and Demon side by side, but Demon will have an inside line into the first corner off the ladder. Boyer's going to go in front of Eggbot. The pain of the ladder. Demon with a good line moves up into first. Good exit line, good exit speed as well. And here we go. Now everyone will group up in this area, so it doesn't even matter if you're really far ahead. It's all going to come down to not being at the back and then really putting that work in on the final lap. And it looks like it's going to be Fluids out on the first lap, eliminated. So F's in the chat for Fluids there. Gone after a bad first lap and an incident with the ladder. But carrying on around. Iceman with a bit more speed, but it's not a great line. Demon's going to hold first. Pesky looking to get through, just tucks into second. That is true. And Pesky going up into first. Makes it past Demon. Iceman in third, B in fourth. Eggbot in fifth, Bwert in sixth. So going into the ladder, again you just don't want to be at the back. Balls of Steel having some issues again on the ladder, but Bwert and B do make it on in front of Alfonso and Wheat. And it's looking like it could be Wheat here that's going to get eliminated. This ladder basically deciding who's going to get knocked out at the moment. But it may get closer in the later laps. So right now there's no need to use all of that energy to try and be up at the front, try and preserve some of that for the final lap. There's currently Pesky Bird leading, Demon in second, Iceman in third. Filtering in, it is going to be Weep getting eliminated here. And there we go. Weep is out. F's in the chat for Weep. Yeah, I think without the ladder here, I don't think Iceman got around to making changes to this unless we've had an issue with versions again on the workshop. Yeah, it'd be good to see this get swapped out because it's quite a fun track actually. The elimination aspect of this, quite a fun little track. Yeah, if we replace this either with an uphill slope or an elevator, we'd probably make the flow a little bit better here and keep it a bit more competitive than everyone piling up here to decide who's going to get eliminated. That's going to be between Jimmy and Eggbot. And it looks like it's going to be Jimmy. So again, so far, there always seems to be one person stuck at the bottom of this ladder. Up at the front though, Demon, just in front of Pesky Bird. Moo currently with the fastest lap. Shady in third. Shady's going to be wanting to keep hold of the lead in the standings here. Moo and Boy will both be trying to pick up some big points to try and take that lead away. You know, it would be quite interesting is to do a track that's the opposite way around to this, where you never want to be first, you always want to be second until the final lap or the end. So the aim is to finish second. So doing this but reversed, so whoever's the fastest around each lap gets eliminated. Quite a funny backwards way of doing this idea. But there we go, Jimmy heading out and is eliminated. F's in the chat for Jimmy. The Pesky Bird holding strong up at the front. Superboss just behind. We'll be looking for a way past. Or might just play it patient. We'll have to see. Demons dropped to 4th. Snorker and Boer just behind. Coming up to the ladder once again. Here we go. So I guess the upside of being towards the front does mean you get pushed onto the ladder more likely than not. So Boer and Pesky Bird are going to be side by side. It's going to be Superboss or Alfonso, I was going to say, or B, but B has managed to get on. So Superboss or Alfonso here, both having real issues with this ladder. And it looks like it's going to be Alfonso this time around. If they ever make it on. There we go. Pesky Bird in the lead, Shady in second, Boer in third, going past the elimination zone yet again, and heading towards lap number 5. Now we just have to wait for Alfonso to get here. Not sure what happens if the last marble doesn't make it to this point. But I'm assuming it's designed in a way that can't happen, hopefully. But you never know with these races. Someone always finds a way, and that is Alfonso getting eliminated. So F's in the chat for Alfonso. Fastest lap determined by the marble that gets eliminated. Well, currently in this race, Moo is holding the fastest lap and currently at the back. We'll have to do something at the ladder. Pesky Bird, Boer and Demon doing quite well so far, but not quite the race up at the front. Superboss is going to lunge in there though, and Boer's getting blocked. Iceman doing a bit of blocking. This could be trouble for Boer now. The curse has returned on lap 5, and this is looking like Boer's going to be out on this lap after such a strong race. Second place down to 12th. It all falls apart. A classic Boer moment. It looks like it's all going to be over. It was bound to happen sooner or later on the ladder. Coming up to the elimination zone, Demon is leading, Superboss in second, Shady in third, Snorker in fourth. Is that just because of the ladder by any chance? Yeah. Yeah, I think if that one change was made, it'd probably help with the flow a bit more, make it a bit more competitive up to this point. It may also just be our luck with someone always getting stuck there. Know how it is here. But that is F's in the chat for Boer. And 2 Balls of Steel team members out thanks to the curse of the ladder. Now the third member, B, is hanging in, currently in third. Snorker taking a fastest lap, and Demon having quite a good race so far. She's managing to lunge on there. Snorker dropping lots of places there. It's between Iceman and Azur. Iceman getting on before Azur. And again, someone getting stuck at the bottom of the ladder. I feel like that's not a consistent thing that happens, but here we are. When it comes to the UMR races, there's always something that happens. And Demon got stuck there for a second. Eggbot came in with the save. That could have been a really bad situation for Demon. But B going up into the lead. Pesky Bird in second. Demon in third. Eggbot in fourth. Oh, and interesting. Iceman actually getting taken into the elimination section here. Which I don't think was meant to happen. Or is it 2 eliminations this lap? Iceman and Azur? Maybe. The other change to make is a change to the holding area for non-eliminated marbles if they're held in single file instead of piling up. Yeah, to give more relevance to what position they're in. Yeah, F's in the chat for Iceman and Azur. Don't know if that was a fluke or it might be that the elimination count goes up after so many laps. It looks like B and Superboss have both dropped quite a lot. In fact, they're going to be side by side. It's going to be a battle down to that point, but if it is 2 out, it could be both of them. And Demon dropping quite a bit as well. We're really seeing some of the front runners dropping in this lap. Shady is leading. She's just getting past Moo into second. Moo in third. Going into the holding zone. And let's see what happens further back. Snorker getting through. B and Superboss here. Racing down to the line. Superboss just cutting in front. And you know what? Maybe it was a fluke last time around as B is going to be eliminated and Superboss continues. And actually gets a little bit of momentum off that as we go onto the final lap. F's in the chat for B, the final member of the Bulls of Steel, getting eliminated. Superboss just sneaking through. Cheese taking the fastest lap and is in second. Eggbot in third. Shady leading on the final lap. And we will see one more elimination. And in fact, we'll see everyone pile up before they even get to the finish. So it could be interesting what happens at the end. It's going to be quite close, I can imagine. With that lunge there, Cheese getting in front of Shady, Eggbot sneaking in as well, and Shady's going to be joined by Pesky Bird. It's going to be between Demon and Snorker. Demon getting on the ladder first. Snorker not far behind, but it might be too much. We will see. Eggbot with the lunge goes up into first. Cheese just behind. Cheese making a good run there. Bit more speed. Gets in front of Eggbot. It's a good line. Eggbot with a better line. Bit more speed on the exit. It's going to be close. Cheese is going to be just in front. And into the holding zone. Cheese is going to be leading. Eggbot just behind. It's going to be a bit of a race here, I think, between Pesky Bird and Eggbot down to the line. I think Eggbot might have the better line from this side. We'll have to see. That is Snorker getting eliminated and down to the line. There we go, very close between them all. F's in the chat for Snorker, but Cheese taking the win. I'm not actually sure why the race didn't just end there, because everyone's finished except those that have been eliminated. Strange. But while we wait for this to finish, Cheese does take the win and the fastest laps. That's going to be big points. Eggbot takes second, Moo third, Pescybird fourth, Shady fifth, Superboss sixth, Demon seventh. So we'll go to the winning marble cam. In fact, I don't think we're going to get this winning marble cam for long. I think Cheese is going to spend as much time as possible at the ladder. And we'll be going to the elimination zone. We'll get to see it firsthand as we wait for the DNF timer to run down. Well, it looks like the positions haven't switched around at all, so I don't think anyone missed a checkpoint. Otherwise, I don't know. I don't know where they would have. Strange scenarios, strange situations here. And there we go. Our champion goes into the lava and gets eliminated. So, predictions. There's quite a few DNFs. Did anyone get it right? Choose outcome. No. Surprisingly not. We're going for everyone. Basically everyone getting eliminated. Not the case this time around. And now I'm clicking on things. But we'll get a zoom out here so you can watch everyone else get eliminated while I put the... How far should we go? Go to about here. Okay, and I'm going to go and put these results over on the leaderboard. You expect them to get stuck as well. I am surprised no one did get stuck. Demon nearly did, but got rescued by Eggbot. Eggbot rewarded for that with a second place. Yes, I'm going to go put these results over on the leaderboard, and I'll be back in just a minute with the updated standings. Alright, the results have been entered. I was just seeing what you're saying in the chat about the panes that actually don't have a shadow. Yeah, all the black ones don't seem to have a shadow, which is an interesting quirk to the game. Very strange. And who do we have left running? Eggbot. Eggbot, the solo survivor. Right, so let's go over to the standings. So, following that race, Moo going back up into first place with 166 points. Shady in second, 1 point behind with 165. Cheese going up into the top 3 with 147. Eggbot into 4th with 141. Boyer getting knocked down to 5th with 139. Iceman 6th with 138. Azur in 7th with 131. Alfonso in 8th with 130. Superboss in 9th with 129. And Snorker in 10th with 118. Then we have Pescybird, Demon, Weep, B, Fluids, and Jimmy. And in the team standings, Green Slushies still holding on to the top spot with 142 points. The Dogeballs in second with 133. Grandmasters third with 131. Eternal Darkness fourth with 130. Tutti Frutti fifth with 127. And then we have the Snowballs, Ultraviolets, Marble Minions, Icebreakers, and the Balls of Steel struggling a bit at the bottom of the team standings. So quite a good race. Of course, a couple of changes would probably make that track a bit better. Changes to the ladder. Probably swapping it out for an elevator or something else, even just an uphill, just to keep the flow going, keep it a bit more competitive down to the elimination section. But apart from that, quite interesting, couple of close moments, and quite close down to the finish line. But for those watching on YouTube, that is going to do it for this one. So thank you all so much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed, and I will see you all in the next one.